we really find persistent disagreement between what the president says and what CDC, for instance, says about the best direction in terms of policy for this crisis. In a highly polarized political environment, the extent to which my interest is encapsulated in a politician or a given institution is really correlated with my partisan identification. Polls that have been conducted over the past couple months consistently show that Americans across the aisle mostly trust the CDC in terms of sharing accurate information about the pandemic, whereas many Americans don't trust our president. What happens when Americans, voters, are exposed to both? In a survey, we asked over 1,000 US voters to make their best estimate on 3 really salient points of uncertainty regarding the COVID-19 crisis. We have general trust towards the CDC across the parties. However, we can tell with statistically significant differences between both Democrats and Republicans if they're exposed to both CDC information and Trump, that they will update in terms of the importance of wearing a mask towards the CDC's estimate as opposed to Trump. On average, voters seem to update their priors on points of uncertainty about the crisis more towards the CDC than the president. But note, it's when they're exposed to the CDC's position. When they're exposed to only Trump, the likelihood is that they will not update their priors. In this second piece, we test the associations that people have with the Trump administration's latest quote-unquote branding effort. So what we did with this card is we asked respondents to click on the first thing that they noticed. Ranking second behind the word coronavirus is the word Trump. In the eyes of both Democrats and independents, any implicit association of the PSA card to President Trump leads to more negative assessments of his job generally and in addressing the crisis. In other words, Trump's name appears to carry negative brand equity. We followed 200 local government employees who filled out daily journal surveys for 3 weeks in the midst of the crisis. And what we wanted to know is the extent to which any of the following political actors hindered or helped them in their jobs. Citizens approached them with confusion over messages they received from the news, particularly news from Trump's briefings. There's an impression that city council members are exploiting the crisis. They have a lot of uncertainty over furloughs, cutbacks, and other economic uncertainties. City and national politics is determining resource outlays, and new information from federal sources seems less reliable or timely than the actions at the local level. Overall, these 3 studies tell us that mixed messaging from political elites has real impacts on the ground. Citizens rely on political elites for information under crisis conditions, and it helps to have a positively balanced brand equity in order to gain people's confidence. Uncertainty leads to conflicting views that complicate citizens' perspectives and thereby complicate the jobs of those on the front lines.